Hey everybody, and welcome to another video. Now, in this video, we're going to have a look at this book right here. This is Vampire: The Dark Age. We did a previous flip through of Vampire: The Masquerade. If you want to have a look at that, that's probably in the description right there. But today, we're going to have a look at the Dark Age expansion supplement for the game, or it's totally new game on its own. It's I want to say it's a totally different feel. Now, I've actually played this game twice. I've actually sat down twice with this game, a total of maybe uh, 10 sessions. So I don't claim to know the game extremely well. But what I can say is that from the offset, it's different. It's a totally different vibe. It's a totally different feel. It's a totally different proposition, right? Now, for the normal vampire game, if you're playing Vampire the Masquerade, there's a lot of intrigue. There's a lot of cloak and dagger. There's a whole lot of modern uh, um, sensibilities that's involved. Now, in this one, it's a bit different because the Dark Age is basically that strange period after Renaissance when nothing was written down and nothing was recorded. Hence, everything was left in the dark, right? So, which makes the book quite good or setting quite interesting because, yeah, this is a time when vampires uh, were pure horror, right? You did not know who they were. There was no information on them. It's very easy to mistake um, evil with folks who lurk in the dark. Uh, but I think this was supposed to kick off a whole new uh, uh, world for World of Darkness Dark Age. But as far as I'm concerned, I only have this one. They have the other World of Darkness books, which I might go through. Now, this game actually was very popular a very long time ago. I want to say maybe 15, 20 years ago, 15 years ago. But it is no longer as popular as it used to be. There are other role playing games out there which are you know different. It's kind of a shame because I think the Vampire the Masquerade IP, or in this case the Vampire Dark Age IP by White Wolf was a really good one. It's just a shame that folks don't know about it anymore. Here at the shop, what we do is we actually let folks browse the books. Simply because just because the game's out of print or just because the game's no longer in vogue doesn't mean you can't play it. And if you want to go with a book with a whole lot of like fluff and a whole lot of background, look at this. Look at this. It's a thick book. It's a whole lot of um, information inside, background fluff that I think even if you're just reading um, this book for fun, you're not playing. It's a really great book. It's enjoyable and it's good. It's a good book. Okay, so let's very quickly flip through this book. Now the design of the book, I must say, is absolutely excellent. Um, I think that adds to the whole experience because I think the Vampire the Masquerade when it arrived, at least for me, in the role playing world, it brought a certain aesthetic which I thought was superbly fantastic, and it brought you in very quickly. And before you knew it, you're already identifying with the different clans, and you're choosing one for yourself very quickly. This is a Carl Reinhagen game, and I thought it was kind of cool because if you look at the let me see if I can show it to you here in the art direction here, you've got Team Bradstreet, which is if you're reading comics, you know Team Bradstreet. He did, I think he did the art for another favorite IP of mine, Hell Blazer, he also did a whole lot of other stuff. But since I got a whole lot of Hell Blazer, Team Bradstreet was like a I like a hero. I quite like his work. So, anyways, let's look at this. We start off with a little bit of story of fluff background, and this is a good read. Why? Because I think the trick to making a vampire or any of the ages right good is how it brings you in. you know. And you do it well if your writing is good. And I think at this point, the writing for the vampire games were fantastic. I mean, I know folks who just bought the book simply because they just wanted to read, and I think, if it was me, yeah, for, most of the books, I mean, the clan books that I've got, it was just good reading, so yeah, we got some really nice art, and then we start off with book one, and this is Flesh and Blood, and as we look into this, we already see some really really nice art. If you're an art collector, gothic art collector, you won't be very far wrong to have this in your collection. I mean, look for this book on eBay or in a secondhand bookstore and get it, because the artwork in here is really really good and really really I want to say they mixed a whole bunch of different styles, so you have this really nice experience. Anyways, this is the introduction, and what it is to tell you what role playing is, the different factors, the different parts of the role playing um, element, like the storyteller, the players are called the coterie, player aids and stuff like that. And then they talk about a live action, which I think for Vampire really sort of took off doing it when it was happening, live action Vampire. I think I sat down for one live action Vampire game. It was very very good, and if you're ever thinking of doing a live action, and you want something with a little bit more intrigue, a little bit more socializing. I know live action is good. Actually, if you also into like dressing up and stuff like that, Vampire Dark Age is definitely it. Definitely, definitely it. Anyway, so we got the lexicon, the common parlance, and then one of the things I liked about the vampire books, or the White Wolf books, when they were releasing it at the time, is because they have references for all this, for like movies and television that you can watch, the books that you can read, games that you can play. And would you believe it? Warhammer is right there as well. Most of these games I've actually played, so at some point those games will actually, I'll actually do a flip through of all of them. But the point of this book is just to do a flip through. Um, if you like, I can actually at some point start doing character rolling up a character. If you like stuff like that, let me know, and I'll consider doing that for this, or for the next role playing game flip throughs that I'll be doing. Anyway, chapter two, the Dark Ages, nice piece of art there, and this basically walks you in to the world. Talks about the different generations, the first generation from Cain, to where you are now. The where you are in terms of generation is how old you are, and because of that, it gives you certain privileges, points of respect and stuff like that. Because the whole Dark Age works well if you can nail the social strata, hence they got names for the different social standings, from Methuselah to caitiffs. In the Dark Age, things are a bit much closer to Cain, and because of that, things are a little bit more. I want to say uh, powerful. Not really powerful. Yeah, powerful. I think a bit more powerful. Anyways, yeah, the traditions. And if you played Vampire the Masquerade, the traditions are right there. And then as we go in, you'll start realizing that as they bring you into the world, right, you find out um, all the different components that make up the world of darkness, and Dark Age specifically. And the more you read, the more you find yourself, enjoying the reading of the book, and not minding that you're not going to end up playing it. Which is kind of strange thing to say, but it is quite true that you might end up curling onto your sofa with a World of Darkness book just for a read. It's excellent, but the problem is once you've read, you want to play. But if you're just reading it for the fun of it, it's good. It's a good read. Anyways, introduces all the other the hunters and the hunted, which basically were, I think this was going to be the other books that were going to come out, but didn't come out, at least especially for Dark Age. Anyways, another piece of nice art, and then you got chapter three, the clans. Now the clans for the Dark Age are a bit different from the clans from the Vampire the Masquerade. the ones in the Masquerade, the Camarilla ones. This one's the Dark Age clans, like the Assamites, the Bruja. I mean, even when I was playing this game in this setting, I was a Bruja. Um, Pretty much the warrior monks, I like to call them. Anyways, the Cappadocians, the followers of Set. It's because there's a whole lot of different vibe here. To the Gangrel, you know, La Sombra, and each of them have their own little crest. I know some folks who actually like have taken the crest and made them into tattoos and stuff like that. But because they're very nicely designed, the the crests are really nicely designed. And if you're looking for an idea for a tattoo, you can understand using it. You got the Malkavians, you got the Nosferatu, you got the Ravnos, you got the Torador, you got the Tremere, the Simizi, the Ventru. Yeah. And then now the thing is the thing with all these clans is I think once you figured out the clans, it's the dynamics of the clans uh, uh, socializing with each other or mingling with each other or meeting each other, which actually is the I want to say the slice of meat in the sandwich. Um, why? Because the dynamics between different clans is how the vampire social strata works, and in your group, or when you have different guys from different clans, you will end up seeing how this plays out, and these stereotypes and the weaknesses, background helps you play a character, and for somebody who is playing opposite you, they get an idea how to tackle you, how to understand you. Because once you nail that, the role playing experience is really really good because you're playing off each other's character background. In this case, the Ventru, you've got your how character creation, your havens and stuff like that. And once you've broken all of this down, you'll find that when you're facing off against another person, whether it's NPC or even your own uh, uh, fellow player, using this will definitely enhance the play. Definitely. Anyways, now not only did they go through this very light, it's just a few lines for each, like the backgrounds, a few lines, stuff like that. They go in deep with the ways of the clans, and as you can see here, the each of the clans is given a little bit of a deep dive. Let me press through it again. Now the thing with this is, while it's a lot of reading, you can actually play the game, without reading all of this, and perhaps being one of those um, vampires that's discovering the world. So you can actually go into playing this game without having to go through all of this. But I wanna say that I highly recommend going through all of this because it actually adds to the flavor, and the flavor of the White Wolf games at this time was really really good, really really good, very very rich. And it's got book two, and this is Descent. Now this is where you build your character. Now I want to point out that this whole part, right, this whole part of the book is just what the world is, who the clans are, uh, how the clans work. Only after all of that, somewhere about 97 pages, you finally create a character, which I think is a great idea because it tells you everything you need to know about how the makers are approaching the game. In this game, the world is important. Coming into the world with a different character, with any character, is possible. But once you build the world, in terms of design, putting the character development later means after the new player has read everything, he is more, in a proper mental space to build his character, or knows more or less knows what he wants to do when he puts his character together. Anyways, this is his character uh, uh, creation. The thing with this is, again, if you like, I can go through this by creating a character for the sake of learning how this game works. But as you can see, even the character sheet is the same. But I'll do that only if somebody asks about it because it's more or less the same, got traits and stuff like that. The bit that's also kind of cool is the introduction of the roads, which I think is a good addition, and the breakdown of attributes. So it now becomes more of like a choosing, you know, um, how your character is built, because the more points you put into each of the abilities, um, they tell you exactly what approximation of what you can do with the abilities, which I think is really really good. Because at the end of the day, sometimes it's just a number. Like for example, in a normal like Dungeons and Dragons game, when there's a number, you don't understand what a number means. What's the difference between 18 charisma and a 15 charisma, right? But when you have a game that breaks it down like this, it helps the role play because at the end of the day, uh, you want the social experience to be as rewarding as possible, right? Anyway, so yeah, so that's all the character building. Again, I can go back to that and make a character later if you so choose me to do. But again, I don't know until you've commented. So comment and I'll do that. If not, then I'll keep on just flipping through books. Moving on, we got chapter 5. These are the disciplines, and again, this is a breakdown of what the different disciplines are. And while the game has a whole lot of components to make your character, it actually you find yourself not using all of it. To be honest, I mean, granted, I only had very few sessions. I mean, 10 is not enough to fully like soak up the using all the abilities. But the fact that the ability is there for you to use, the fact that the ability is there for you to um, work into your character and into the game, I think it's good. Again, you can actually read through all of this, and it's a good read. Whoever was doing the copy and whoever was doing the design work and whoever was doing the initial writing, has to get top notch, not top notch. Moving on, we got the rules, and here is how you play. Uh, got the game terms, and again, the character development, character was the character creation was up front, and the rules are somewhere in page 177, and you get all the rules, which is interesting way to design your role playing book, at least for the time. Anyways, book 3 is the Crusader, and as you can look through, looking through this, you'll see in this book there's a little bit more weight onto combat. And I must admit that the big difference I found when I was playing this game as opposed to Vampire the Masquerade was I tend to swing. I tended to be in battle more often than not. Uh, in Vampire Dark Age, I'm not so sure whether it's because you walk around with an axe or you walk around with a sword and you're more likely to pull it out. When you're confronted by an encounter. Because in Vampire the Masquerade, right, you don't have that all the time on you, so you end up like having to talk your way out of it. But this one, you tend to swing the sword more often. So I do remember when I was playing Vampire Dark Age back in the day, that it was it was quite action packed. It was quite action packed for me. The experience was quite action packed. But then again, I only played about like I think 10 sessions, 11 sessions, just like that. Anyways, moving along, we've got examples of play, and I love the fact that they did this way. So they broke it down to a comic book style presentation where they tell you here's the panels of the story, and here's where they help you along on how to interpret what's happening here behind the scenes on what's happening in the game, right? And I like this because it's got this nice comic book feel about it, and there's a nice behind the scenes look at the writing and how to get this happening. And although this is just a few pages, how many is this? How many pages is this? One, two, three, four, five, six pages, right? It gives you an idea and it helps the new player, especially the storyteller, especially the new, to get into the game uh, and not be so confused because nailing the setting is extremely important for any of the White Wolf games. Anyways, speaking of setting, we got the storytelling, and this is the storyteller part. And now, if you're a player, you'd probably like want to not go through this part. But let me just say that when you are a storyteller and you're reading this, not don't you don't have to use all of it because it is a lot more reading than a normal player would. But even if you are a player, flipping through this gives you an idea of what's happening behind the scenes as well. Because later you might find yourself being a storyteller yourself. So yeah, but again, if I was you, I'd skip it and just enjoy it. But again, there's not much here for the storyteller as in terms of like secrets anyway. So so yeah, it's worth a read. But this is supposed to be for the a guide for the storyteller. Anyways, moving along, antagonist, and here are all the villains or the folks that will be you that you'll go up against. You know, the church, of course. You know, inquisitors. You know, and stuff like that. And you'll find yourself, you know, facing off against these uh enemies, antagonists often because in the Dark Age there's this whole sense of like cleansing, you know, with a sword, or you know with claws if you're up against werewolves, right? And I think that's why when I was playing it, there was a real sense of like combat, real sense of like action. But yeah. Oh, very quickly, I don't want to miss this up, but this section has the Garu or the wolves, the wolf tribes, and I think they were go. I think at some point they were thinking of jumping off, as in Wealth of the Apocalypse in the Dark Ages. I don't think they. I don't think they did it though. But you got the Garu, the werewolves, you got the magicians, you know, Magi, Magi. Yeah, I got Mage the Ascension. I got this book as well, so maybe I will flip that. But this is the medieval age Mage the Ascension. Anyways, you got rifts. This is basically the breakdown of all the World of Darkness, you know, components, the fairies and stuff like that, right? Changelings. They show you how to crossover. Again, I didn't play that much for me to go through all of this. Um, But I think once you've gotten through your first, you know, 3 or 4 full, uh, you know, chronicles, right? This will definitely come up. Anyways, these are merits and flaws, which I want to say these are your modifiers. I know a lot of folks, yeah, who play around with this. In fact, I played around with this when I was building my character to start. And you got the equipment list right here. Which, it's not so important because well, it's uh it's Dark Ages. You know, it isn't exactly a +1 magical sword to use. Anyways, there's the index, and then there's the character sheet that you can actually like photostat. Um, then there's Vampire Wild West. I don't think I have this book, Vampire Wild West. Anyways, as you can see, it's a very nice book. It's very beautifully presented, very beautifully designed. If I was you, I would pick this book up. If I would have find it in a secondhand bookstore, or if I was find it, you know, in one of those RPG uh, places online, whether it be Facebook or eBay, you know, get it. If you've never heard of Vampire the Masquerade, look at Vampire the Masquerade first. But if you're into enjoying the vampire world in the Dark Ages, I highly recommend this. And again, if you're just needing something to read, you know, this is a good read. So that's pretty much it. That is the flip through of Vampire: The Dark Ages. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Again, we haven't done a flip through of an RPG book because nobody said anything. But I think a few days ago we had somebody in the store talking about role playing, and he asked me, "Hey Wolf, how come you haven't flipped through another RPG book?" And I was like, "Nobody said anything." So yeah, tell me what you would tell me if you want to see more of this, or else I'll just do something else, right? I got so much things to cover for this channel, from miniatures to painting to books and stuff. So let me know what you want to see, or what you want to, what works for you, and if I've got the time, I'll flip through it. Anyways, we're done. Vampire Dark Ages, go check it out. And this is me signing off with strange, but don't forget to enjoy painting those figures. But you know what? Give role playing a go. I gotta find another tagline for that, but I'll see you in the next one.